Our predictions for the 2023 Japanese Grand Prix. Welcome to race week once again. Japan, Suzuka, the iconic track awaits, Tommy. Let's get into our predictions now then, starting with biggest good surprise. I couldn't put my finger on where I was going to, I'm not going to say bless, probably curse with my biggest good surprise. And I've gone with Nico Hülkenberg. Don't know why. Mainly because, look, K-Mag beat him in Singapore in terms of qualifying and also getting that point as well in the race. I feel like Nico, it will light a fire inside of him. He might do a little cheeky Q3 performance. I'm not saying that Haas are going to score points with this. But a little cheeky P11, P12, I'm going to be at least arguing half a point.
It's all vibes, isn't it? Speaking of vibes, my biggest good surprise is Charles Leclerc. I promise this is not a paid advertisement from Matthew Gallagher. The reason I've gone for biggest good surprise is I don't think everyone's writing him off, but obviously Carlos is the man of the moment, and rightly so at the moment. He's been driving superbly. I don't think Leclerc's maybe been as bad as people think, but Leclerc has been there, and I think he's going to deliver a good weekend.
We now go to biggest flop. So the flop curse worked incredibly well last weekend. Some people were saying, how can you possibly give Max Verstappen biggest flop for P5 in that car? He won 10 in a row. Do we not understand what biggest flop is yet? Surely that was floppy, Tommy.
It's basically, will they have a bad weekend?
Will they have a large flop?
Yeah, and Verstappen did. You can't argue that when he's won 10 in a row. Of course, he drove a very good race, but he still finished fifth when the cars won every race, so it's a flop.
Yeah, take that. Anyway, my biggest flop is Carlos Sainz.
Oh,
so I've gone kind of the other way in the sense of, well, similar thinking. Carlos Sainz, he's got the world with him. The momentum is there. And I just feel like that choo-choo train might come to a halt in Suzuka. Don't know what it will look like. This is all based on vibes. There is no reason. Just Carlos Sainz fans, I am sorry. It's just a hint. It's just a feeling.
Biggest flop I have gone for Kevin Magnussen. So we've both gone for 2 Hasses and 2 Ferraris in our thing. But my thinking here is that, I guess kind of what you went for with biggest good surprise is more that I think K-Mag had a good Singapore Grand Prix, particularly in qualifying, and I just think he might go back to being a bit washed. I think Singapore is that kind of track that suits a K-Mag, where you're like wrestling it round and that kind of driver. But
barging people out the way, making mistakes and losing 5 positions,
and then getting a great
good
strategy,
soft tyre at the end. Yeah,
of course, it's always on vibes, but I just feel like K-Mag will go back to being a bit washed again.
K-Mag doing K-Mag things. We will find out. Pole position now. I'm sorry, everybody. We're riding the wave of Singapore, but it's Max Verstappen. He's just going to do something we're all not going to like this weekend. He is going to ruin everything. He'll win every single race from here to the end of the season. He'll say, look, you had your one race off. I had my little blip. Now it's time for me to go to the top step of the podium to remind everyone what the Dutch national anthem sounds like. And it's going to start on Saturday with pole position.
The Max Verstappen revenge tour, as a lot of people are calling it this weekend. My pole position, I have gone for Charles Leclerc. I feel like it's going to be close in qualifying. Red Bull.
You know what I have to say to this? Sorry, quickly.
Go on.
Daddy, please. Okay.
God's sake. Look, quali has been incredibly close. We'll go on to whether I think Max will win again. And I think Max will be in a better position and will be fighting for pole. I don't think they're going to have the stinker that they had in Singapore. But I just think that Red Bull, they're not always about that pole position. I know Max has had a lot of poles, but I feel like part of this biggest good surprise theory of Leclerc is that he's kind of back to his best in qualifying. It's either a Leclerc pole or Leclerc in the wall in Q1 and out. So we'll see.
Q1, jeez, come on, at least say Q3, mate. God. Right, let's go to our top 3 then. And in third place, I have gone for Oscar Piastri. Ooh. Oh yeah, McLaren. Oh, they love a mid to high speed corner. And that is what Suzuka offers. I think McLaren are going to be right there, and they'll be the closest team to Red Bull this weekend.
So for my P3, I've gone for Lando Norris for a similar reason. That I think McLaren is going to be a track that is suited to McLaren, and you won't put bet against Lando with the way he's kind of been driving at the moment superbly well. And if it's a track that suits him, podium is definitely doable.
In second place, I have gone for Lando Norris. Echoes my thoughts about Piastri. Lando will just have the slight edge over Oscar, but remember that both of them will have the fully upgraded McLaren now for Suzuka, as opposed to Lando just having it in Singapore. And yeah, it will be a lovely P2 and P3 for McLaren. I don't think they'll be close to Max Verstappen because of reasons I have already mentioned. I mean, come on. I think we all know who I'm going to say for first. Yes, Lando Norris second.
So my P2, I have gone for Charles Leclerc. Not getting the dub, but the P2, the elusive P2, which I think will be back to being an elusive P2 after Max Verstappen Revenge Tour. So, yeah, that's what I'm going for. Yeah.
In first place, I have gone for Max Verstappen. Just be wary. Go into this weekend with low expectations and you will still be disappointed. That's how I think the battle for first is going to be this weekend, and I hope I'm wrong.
P1, I've also gone for Max Verstappen. I do think Singapore is a blip. If Verstappen is genuinely qualifying Q2 again and finishes P11, we'll be like, oh, the technical directive has shafted Red Bull, and we'd all be on that hype train of Red Bull are now washed. But I see Max being back comfortable in a car that is going to suit Suzuka a lot. Yeah, gone for Max Verstappen.
Lovely stuff. We now go to our one crazy prediction. For me, my crazy prediction is Charles Leclerc beats Carlos Sainz.
That's a loophole, McGee.
Yeah, that's loophole. I saw the last 3 races. He hasn't beaten Carlos Sainz. So I am locking in this crazy prediction because that is rare
in the race,
form.
Or is it open-ended so we can
it could be FP1,
for
could be FP2.
half points and things?
No, in the race, he will beat Carlos Sainz.
We've really backed Charles on this podcast.
That could be really bad for me.
Yeah, my one crazy prediction is Liam Lawson in the points again.
Yeah, I totally back that as well because he's actually raced around Suzuka, isn't he?
He's a Super Formula recently. I think he's going to be good around here and could deliver something quite special again. And then we're all talking about pray for Yuki and his seat.
The thing is, they're supposed to potentially announce Yuki at the Japanese Grand Prix. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll see. If they don't say anything at the Japanese Grand Prix, then it's game back on for Liam Lawson and they've decided, actually, no, Yuki, when we've not decided yet.
If Tsunoda gets announced staying with AlphaTauri and then Lawson puts in another mega drive and maybe like a, I don't know, just in a theoretical world is like a 7th or an 8th or something, everyone would be like, oh, what does this mean?
Finally, 3 crazy predictions from you wonderful lot. Remember to reply to our Twitter or Instagram posts asking for it, and you might be able to feature on this podcast. Matt P1 Tommy, if you don't follow us already. Dan the United fan comes in with Stroll, top 6.
Bold.
Top 6, what? DNFs? Or if we were to like reverse the qualifier?
6 laps.
That would be an achievement. Quadrado Manuela, Leclerc returns to the podium. There you go. Locks in. Is that your burner account, Tommy?
The Leclerc hype train of this podcast. Yeah.
Not good. I'm not enjoying how much hype are actually there. But then this one, Nordy2145, 1 Red Bull, 1 Ferrari, and 1 MERC will DNF. That bit, I bet the bold. 1 Ferrari will come true, and it'll be Charles Leclerc, and then it's because of everything we've said in this podcast previously. So thank you for your 3 crazy predictions.
Good luck, Charles Leclerc. I hope you can survive the predictions curse. I do genuinely think it's going to happen. It's not just for bounce, so we'll see.
The only thing I've actually done is say that he'll beat Sainz. Everything else was you or
you didn't actually put him on the podium and stuff, did you?
No, I didn't even put him on the podium. So technically, you can't blame me. And that is it. Can't wait for Suzuka. Glad it's another race week straight after. I feel like we've got momentum now. I feel like we've got enjoyment from Singapore. I really hope that I'm wrong about Verstappen and what he's going to do to all of us, but let's see. Of course, we will be live on Twitch early. Remember, it's an early one. I think it's 6 a.m. start UK time, isn't it, for the race? So that'll be fun. We'll be dosed up with coffee. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because I remember looking at the times going, oh, God, it's a really early start. And then because I have Grace now, I remember being like, oh, this is actually the time I get up anyway.
So you'll be
'Cause it's like
normal and I'll
6
be there
a.m.
like, hey,
Yeah.
chat. And that is it. Thank you, everybody. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.